What's the simplest definition that you would define adaptability to be?
I think this is just a way in which you adjust to the circumstances that are happening around you, whether it's changes in season in your life, like you said, is it school that is changing? Is it your environment in terms of, are you moving away to a totally different country, to a totally different town? So adaptability is just you being able to then adjust to that new environment that's presented. And when we're used, it's our comfort zone. You know, you were taken out of your comfort zone for a very long time. You made Osaka. All of a sudden, you're thrown into a town that's so quiet, that's so different. Familiarity is one thing that we're so accustomed to certain things that when we are put in a totally different place, we start to panic. You know what I mean? So the minute you understand that, okay, it's not about me changing who I am, but change the method in which you're delivering that specific thing, right? So you don't need to change yourself or move yourself to fit into whatever it is. No. You look at it and say, how can I make that fit into what I am right now?
What I am.
Where I'm not compromising myself, but I'm staying true. To my standards.
You know, sometimes a number of us will tell ourselves to say, things pushed me to become this, or things pushed me to actually compromise. How important is it to actually stay grounded in your faith as you go through the transitioning of life? How important is it for somebody to actually hold on to their faith? Welcome to the Spotlight, where we have meaningful conversations that edify, equip, and ignite the pursuit of purpose with me, Joyce Mokonja. So life does not always announce when things are about to change. You know, when career is about to go down or when a season is about to end, there is no warning sign to say, oh, now the season has come to an end. But then as things change, as uncertainties come, we must be a people that are willing to actually adapt to what is happening around us. Adaptability is not about changing who you are. It's about learning what you can learn and living in those moments that you are in. So sometimes life will throw you off the bus. A number of things are going to happen. The relationship will come to an end and all of those things. But then the question is, what are you going to do in order for you to actually move forward? So of late, I think now you are used to this. I am not always alone like I used to. So I have a sister and friend with me. This is not the first time we're in this space. Yeah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me again.
It's always amazing to have you around.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So for somebody who's watching you for the first time, probably maybe just introduce yourself to them.
Yeah, so my name is Mercy Costa. You know, I'm an auditor. By profession, I'm a worshiper. Child of God. Number one, foodie as well. That's Mercy.
Amazing. I love the fact that you have put it out there that you are a child of God.
Always.
You're a child of God. So today's conversation is about adapting. So all of us will go through different phases of life. Adapting is not just all about the bad times. It's also about when life is actually taking you up. A number of us will struggle to actually live up to the standard that we have been moved to. We still hold on to where we are coming from. And then sometimes we are being thrown off the bus. Things have become hard. Things have changed. But we still want to hold on to the status that we had before. Was there a moment in your life where you needed to adapt? Yeah. What was the situation like?
Yeah, so I think the perfect example I could probably give, which was such a drastic change, was when I had to go to the UK. So when I was 15, my mom went abroad to study in Birmingham for her PhD. So the whole family went, my sisters, my father, myself. So now you can imagine I'm in a totally different, it's totally different country, culture. Everything is different. The food is different. The way people speak is different. The way people speak is different. The way they carry themselves is different. Their principles are different. Everything is different. And I have to go there. Someone who's lived in Zambia for about 15 years suddenly has this major life shift and has to adapt. One of the biggest things also was that the school system that side is very different. I had just written grade 9 and I passed, so I was supposed to start grade 10 the term I was leaving. Went that side and they said, no, as our school system is how dependent on how old you are. So because she's 15, she actually has to be in, so their calendar year is also different. So you find it September to June, around September to June. I was getting there in March. They're telling me, no, she has to go into grade 10. Grade 10, 2 more months were left.
2 more months. Wow.
To the end of grade 10.
To the end of grade 10.
And then they were like, she'll start year 11 in September. My mom said, that's not possible.
That's
like
not
she
possible.
needs to start, like she doesn't know. And the exams, the Cambridge exams are based off of 2 years, which is grade 10 and grade 11. So imagine, I've missed grade 10 and I'm only going to 2 months. And then a whole year of year 11. And I have to figure out how to do, because they refused. They said that's just how the system is there. They can't make an exception. They don't want me to feel out of place because it's per age. There are certain people within that age should be the oldest in that class. If you take her back, we can't do that. So now it's messy. You either adapt or they send you back.
They send you back.
There are 2 options. No, maybe go back to Zambia. Go back. You know the system there.
It's easy. We'll have to wait until you're in grade 12 for you to write an exam.
Then this pressure. And then in that moment, I just remember I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Messi, can you do it? Can you manage? And I remember getting a nudge from, I always talk about my dad. I think he's someone very pivotal in my life and in my growth. He said, no, you can do it. Even if he's scared, no, she can do it. Very like she can. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I can do it. And my mom is now, you know, mothers. She's like, no, my daughter, so much pressure.
So much pressure on you.
And then I'm like, okay, Messi, focus. What do you need to do? How do you need to make this work? What help do you need? Draw up a plan. How are we going to work to make sure that we pass? I was actually one of the top graduating people. So that was one of the moments that I definitely
that you can remember to say you had to adapt.
It was sink or swim, literally.
Guys. Because the brains wouldn't bend. The brains wouldn't. Because even just adapting, even like within the Zambian setup or GCE, is it ECZ? ECZ, Even just for you to be able to catch up when you have missed maybe term 1 of school. And you go into term 2, for you to just be able to adapt, you to just be able to adjust to everything and be able to cope. A number of us, it will take us. It will. So probably maybe what's the simplest definition that you would define adaptability to be?
I think this is just a way in which you adjust to the circumstances that are happening around you, whether it's changes in season in your life, like you said, is it school that is changing? Is it your environment in terms of, are you moving away to a totally different country, to a totally different town? So adaptability is just you being able to then adjust to that new environment that's presented itself.
I remember early last year, 2024, was pushing to get a job, pushed. But you know, sometimes when we're praying to God, we somehow tell him what we want. I want the job to be here, or I want the school to be here, or I want my man to be like this. We give him a prescription of exactly what we want. And when a job came, it actually took me out of Lusaka. And I am used to this fast environment. I'm used to how everything is running. And I had to move to the Copper Belt. When I went there, first I was like, okay. I asked, like, is this the downtown? And the person was like, yeah, this is town center. I'm like, this is downtown, as in it's town. He's like, yeah, this is town. I'm like, okay. Now, I'm looking at where I'm coming from. So it's like a very different environment altogether. Now I have to adjust to not speaking Nyanja to speaking Bemba the whole time. Now, because back here in Lusaka, I was free, go for work, I have my errands, I'm doing whatever that I want. But now there, I have to adjust to working with the system of the ministry I'm working for. So they don't expect me to leave the campus. I'm supposed to be, for this side, you leave, it's lunchtime, you go out, you come back when your time is done. But here you have to do everything in the same place. And moving to that place, I don't have family there. I'm just alone. So it was quite a whole lot to deal with. But then at the end of the day, I was like, okay, can I do it? At a certain point, it became frustrating because there are days where you get sick and there is nobody there. So adapting is not really an easy thing that we can embark on. And that's the reason why a number of us actually really do struggle to adapt. What are some of the reasons that you think a number of us really do struggle when it comes to adapting to change or anything?
I think it's the biggest thing that's come to mind actually as you were speaking is just familiarity. Like you're used to something. And when we're used, it's our comfort zone. You know, you were taken out of your comfort zone for a very long time. You made Osaka. And then all of a sudden you're thrown into a town that's so quiet, that's so different. And now you're like, whoa, what's going on?
What's going on?
How do I adjust?
How do I adjust?
You know, go into this slow pace. You know, so I think familiarity is one thing that we're so accustomed to certain things that when we are put in a totally different place, we start to panic. You know what I mean? So familiarity. Also, it's mindset. What type of mindset do you have? You know, when you're put in a different in a certain environment where. For me, where it's challenging. For example, I love puzzles. People look at me like I'm crazy when I tell them that I did a 2,000-piece puzzle. They say, like, you just sat down and did like a puzzle. I said, And then they were like, I don't even know where to start from. I don't know. It just seems like there's too much going on. You know, but that point where you are like, okay, I'm looking at this and it's a bit confusing. It's a bit hard, right? How do I tackle it? What's the best way that I can approach it? Right? We don't take that moment. Most times it's panic.
It's panic,
I'm in an environment, I don't know what this is. I don't even know where to start from. It just looks so confusing. Just remove me from it.
Just remove me from it.
So your mindset and how you're approaching it actually matters. Right? So you also have people who are just too rigid. You've been brought up in a place where it's like you stick to this. If this is how this is happening, this is exactly how
it's supposed to be done.
It should not change.
It should not change.
The minute it changes, now you're like, oh,
you're stuck. You don't know what to do.
I don't know anything else outside of this.
I think the other thing probably maybe I can add to it is sometimes, especially when we're maybe a boss or something, or we're doing fine in life, and then maybe life happens to us and now it's taken us on the other side where we're maybe struggling to even have our basic needs met. So sometimes the reason why a number of us will struggle to adjust is because of pride. They were bossy. I should live in a 2-room house. Me, I used to shine. Sometimes pride will cause us to actually fail to adapt because you know. But then when you are humble and you understand to say life has changed, it'll be easy for you to actually be able to adapt. I understand to say change is uncomfortable. There is nothing that is easy. Even getting a promotion is not really comfortable, as most of us would actually think. So, but then even that as well is going to be very difficult. Now, my other question that I can ask is, how do you adapt without really changing your purpose? Because I have seen a number of us where maybe things were happening in a certain way. So for example, maybe you were called maybe to sing. You get right, like you're a worshiper, you were called to sing. But sometimes life will take you in a place where it becomes difficult for you to actually sing. But you understand to say, my purpose is aligned with ministry. So how do you adapt when life has thrown you probably maybe on the other side for you to just stick with what your purpose is?
I think that being grounded is very important. One in like I mentioned when I began being a child of God, right? And a Christian, is being grounded in knowing that, okay, my purpose is this, right? For example, if it's singing for me and I'm a worshiper and that's what I'm supposed to be doing, right? there are so many different avenues. And I actually remember us having this conversation, if you remember, when I was asking you, because you were in the choir as well when you were here, and then you're there, and then now you're telling me, I feel like I'm just a pew.
Yeah.
I'm just seated in
Just warming the benches as it is.
And I remember saying that there's so many ways that you can actually minister.
Yeah.
In that particular moment, maybe that is not that specific, that specific ministry, it may not be the one that you will use, but there could possibly be something else
that you can
start to do in that moment.
Yeah.
So it's not confined to one thing, and I don't think God confines us to one specific thing, because I believe nothing happens by chance.
Yeah.
So
somehow He has allowed it. Yeah.
So if He has allowed it, there should be. He's probably thought about what is it that Mercy can do if I push her to go this side. Yeah. There should be some form of ministry. There should be something that she can actually do, which I believe anyone can do. But aside from that, if we flip it to people who may not necessarily be Christians, I just do believe that whatever it is that you feel is what you need to do, there's always a way to do it.
There's always a way.
We are not confined. And that's the thing. That's where we come back to mindset.
Yeah, to mindset.
When we think we're confined to doing something in one specific way, we will shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah. And then we'll feel like we will render ourselves useless. But when we sit down and say, but there are multiple ways in which
I can do this.
This can be done. Right? So I can't just think there's only one path. No. But there are multiple ways. So the minute you understand that, okay, it's not about me changing who I am, but change the method in which you're delivering that specific thing, right? So you don't need to change yourself or move yourself to fit into whatever it is. No. Yeah. You look at it and say, how can I make that fit into what I am right now?
What I am.
Where I'm not compromising myself, but I'm staying true. To my standards.
Wow. Sometimes a number of us will tell ourselves to say, things pushed me to become this, or things pushed me to actually compromise. How important is it to actually stay grounded in your faith as you go through the transitioning of life? How important is it for somebody to actually hold on to their faith in their season of probably maybe change or anything that it may be? Yeah.
Oh, one thing I always say to people is that you can't do adulthood without God. You will die. As in you will die, and you will cry real tears.
Yeah.
Because really and truly, I think our faith is the only thing that actually keeps us when everything is just seemingly looking like. It's reminding me of the storm in the Bible. Yeah. There's this whole storm going on around, and Jesus is sleeping on the boat, and everybody now starts panicking, like, oh, what's going on?
What's going on?
What's happening? Yeah. And they go, wake him up. Then you go, wake him up. And then he says, you're beautiful. Yeah. And so your faith is what would have made you sit there and say, even if there's a storm, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, we're going to be fine. Jesus is here.
He's there. It's so, I can't stress. I don't even know how to explain it, but I can't stress it enough. You won't survive, because I think the pressures of the world are just too much. Yeah. And especially the older you get, because when you're younger, you're protected.
Yeah, your parents got you. You're everybody, like somebody who's taking care of you, they've got you.
Yeah, they've covered you completely. Yeah. You don't. You're eating, sleeping, going to school, coming back, being picked up. You don't even worry about anything. You get older. You have to worry about 10,000 different things, right? Yeah. And then you can't figure that out on your own. And so it's important to make sure you're hand in hand with your maker, because that's why you can go and say, God, okay.
Now that you've mentioned something about family being able to cover you when you were young and you have less things, or you've got nothing to worry about, time and again, especially in the African setup, children are not part of the big conversations that happens over maybe the finances or the changes that happens in a home. Maybe daddy has been fired from work, or maybe he's been cut off from work, or something is happening. There is little conversations that are hard, and children are involved in those conversations. You are not going to be told to say, daddy is no longer working, so we have to cut down on certain things. You will just see the changes happening. If you were at a private school, you just hear to say, private school,
Yeah.
the next thing is they take you maybe to a government school. Maybe you used to go for movies or whatever that it was. You had all these luxurious things that were happening in your home. We just see things toning down without a proper explanation of why things are happening like that. Do you think that is one of the reasons why a number of us are failing to adapt in our adulthood, because we were barely prepared for the changes that are going to come in life? Do you think that is also contributing, or maybe we're just people that are failing to adapt?
You know what I'm thinking? Maybe seeing it from another angle would be that maybe we were actually forced to adapt without having a conversation. Because they never accorded us a conversation. So you are forced to figure out how to adapt and how to survive. When you've been removed from one place like school. You were going to Rhodes Park all of a sudden. You've gone to Kablonga Girls this side. Now you're like, that's a totally different shift. But you don't even understand. Nobody has given you has accorded you that opportunity to say, this is what's happening. So you kind of understand what's going on. You're kind of forced to say, okay, I don't even know what's happening. I don't even know why I've moved. But they've just moved me.
Anyways.
Do whatever you gotta do. And I think you end up trying to find a way to adapt in that situation. And I think it's either you adapt. Or it reveals whether you're capable of adapting or not. Sometimes you hide. You don't adapt, you just survive.
You just survive.
You just try your best to make sure you get through it.
You're getting through
really
it.
Embrace that whole change. So you're just touching the surface, not even that you actually settled and said, okay, I've adapted, I've now changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it's just like, just on
You're
the
just
surface.
on the
I'm
surface.
just there, I'm doing enough
to
survive, to get out of this whole thing.
The fact that you've mentioned that a number of us are just surviving in these environments, I think it does really take away what you're supposed to learn and how you're supposed to build yourself in that moment. Because the whole point of maybe adapting or the change is that it should be there to test our capabilities, to be able to maybe change a certain mindset about us, to be able to build a certain strength about us. But when we are in a certain environment where we've been pushed in, and the only thing that we're doing is we're surviving, then we're depriving ourselves from a lot of things. So sometimes God will push you in certain places, not because He wants to punish you, but because there is certain things that He expects you to learn in that season. I believe that adapting or change or uncertainties, whether on the good side or on the bad side, really do comes with a lot of emotions. Maybe if you have been fired, or maybe if you've lost a loved one or anything, there are those emotions of frustration, disappointment, and fear. How do you deal with those emotions in that moment without probably maybe them taking you out? Because sometimes it's our inability to deal with our emotions that actually causes us maybe to kick the bucket or to take our own life. So how do you deal with your emotions in that space?
For me, I think one of the things that have worked is just take a step back and allow yourself to feel. It's okay to feel. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to have emotion. I mean, we see it as well in the Bible. Jesus wept. Right? He cried. So you see that there's an aspect of emotion. You see Job, everything getting taken away, and he goes back to God and he's asking, why is this happening? He is distressed, but he doesn't give up. He does not lose his faith. He still believes in God, right? But it's not that you won't. It's not that you won't. You shouldn't feel or you shouldn't experience emotion. Experience it. Because when you accept it the first time, you're able to then deal with it. If you start being in denial, I'm not even hurt.
I'm not even hurt.
you get so frustrated.
So frustrated, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you don't know why you're angry. You don't know why you're rude.
Yeah.
You don't know why you can't get along with certain people. You don't know why people don't want to be around you.
Yeah.
But you've built in so much inside that it's showing, but you think it's not.
Yeah.
People can see it from your actions.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, have you accepted it? Number one, accept it. Two, take some downtime. I usually like to just take a little bit, like just isolate a bit. Not to say I'm trying to hide and run away from you,
Yeah.
but for me, that's how I deal with it.
Yeah.
So that I can be honest with myself. I also write. So if I'm feeling my heart is heavy or anything, I'll get my phone out and start writing something, or I'll start journaling.
Yeah.
You know? The other thing is I'm gonna go and pray. God, I'm hurting. That's how I'm going to cry and I'll bawl and I'll bawl. You know? And if that works, great. If I want to put in some worship music, I'll put on some worship music and listen to it. But the most effective thing is understanding that you need to accept it and then figure out how am I going to practically deal with this, because these emotions have come as a result of a change in my environment. How am I dealing with that change? Because that's the thing that's actually evoked the emotions that you're feeling. So for you to not feel how you're feeling, you sit down and say, how do I then tackle this thing to make sure it's not giving me any grief? I'm not feeling any form of negative emotions. It also starts with developing your emotional intelligence. Being able to judge a situation to say, do I need to react this way in this situation? Maybe let me just hold back a bit. You know, do I need to go and jab off a bit? No. Or should I just, let me take a minute. It will get better. I always say there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And whatever situation you find yourself in, you will make it through, whatever the case may be. Like I said, there's always a way. Like there's a reason why God has put you there, that's one. But two, there's a way that you can make it work. It's just the fact that you're too used, like I said, people are too used to certain things that when you move them out,
it becomes uncomfortable, it becomes a lot to deal with.
But we're not denying the fact that it will be overwhelming. We're not denying the fact that it will frustrate you. We're not denying the fact that you may feel sad and depressed for some time. That's okay. But I felt this way. Fine. What am I doing about it that I do not feel this way moving forward, right? If you're in an environment that you're new and you don't know people, probably your next step is make some friends. Find some people who you can depend on. That if something goes south, they may not necessarily be able to replace your family and friends. There's still somebody who's close that will give you some form of comfort that you would still want, right? So it's these things. I feel like emotions is about dealing with what has actually happened that has made you feel that way, than it is more about even the actual emotion.
So if you deal with the issue, then the emotion will be dealt with. Wow. Wow. That was just wow. Okay, so it's not about the emotions that you're feeling, it's about dealing with the issue that has brought the emotions. Wow. Now, a number of us have had moments. Okay, probably maybe you'll ask this question. Was there a season in your life where you failed at something? What was that moment like?
It was horrible.
Take us there.
It was horrible.
Take us there.
I was doing my CIMA exam, CIMA qualification, which is accounting, management accounting, at ZECAS. And I was writing this paper called, I think it was Advanced Management Accounting. So the environment changed because where I was writing from, it was a different place. So it wasn't my comfort zone. It was a totally different place that I had to adapt to, that I had to get to know. Two, I didn't feel 100% prepared, but I was like, I think I can do this.
I can do this,
For someone who had never failed an exam, that was crazy, because that exam, for CIMA exams, if people know CIMA, how CIMA works, immediately it's a computer-based exam. Immediately you finish, it counts you down. So you have an hour, 30 minutes, and it's a timer. Immediately, like it's 0, 0, 0, 0.
The paper is done.
Yes. Your results are printed out. As you are walking out of the room, you know what you've gotten.
Yo.
Yeah, and that was the first paper I ever failed. I was gutted, as in I was like, God, what? And at this point, I'm numb because I'm like, okay, I don't know my actual percentage mark, like how far off I was from the cutoff point. So I'm like, okay, I can't really gauge, like, should I cry? Am I down? That I didn't do something right? Like, am I supposed to change my technique? I didn't know. So I waited 2 days because the results would then be shown on a portal 2 days later to show you the exact mark and where you went wrong. And I think I was 1 mark off because our pass mark is 70% technically. So I was 1 mark off, so 69%.
It's like a 1 mark.
I remember calling my dad. I cried.
Yeah.
And my dad is so, because now my dad is at the gym at this point. He's concerned. He's like, my daughter is crying. What's going on? He's panicking.
Yeah.
He's me say, what's wrong? I was like, Daddy, I've just figured out that I was 1 mark off, what. And the question he asked me, it really changed my perspective of how I dealt with failure.
Yeah.
So he says, Mercy, it's okay for you to feel bad, but what is crying going to do? That's what he said. He said, you can cry for a bit, but I don't expect you to cry
forever.
Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
What went wrong?
Fix what went wrong.
Yeah.
Go back and attempt it again. You can't sit there and cry the entire time. Yeah. At that, I changed. I said, okay, I will fail, and I have failed multiple times after that. You feel bad for a moment. Get back to the drawing board. What went wrong? Sort it out. Figure it out. Move on to the next thing. Did you manage to pass? Okay, you did. You didn't. Again, what went wrong? Same. Keep going. But the point is, you feel bad. Don't neglect those emotions. Yeah. But go back to the drawing board and figure out what went wrong, and then implement the new stuff.
Yeah. I think you've even answered the question that I was about to ask about how do you adapt in moments of failure. So it's about you sitting there, feeling the emotions. It's okay for you to cry. You lost a job, cry about it.
Yeah.
The relationship didn't work out, cry about it. But then after you're done crying, go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, where did I miss it? How do I again go back at this and be able to succeed at it? Just sitting there and crying the whole time about it will not actually help at all. No. It will not actually solve the issue. It will not actually make things better. Yeah. But it's about going back to the drawing board and asking yourself, where do I still want to go? Yes. Can I still do this? Is there a different way that I can approach this? Maybe this strategy didn't work the last time I tried. Maybe let me try this. So it's all about learning, and it's all about constantly going back, because in this life, if you tell yourself to say, if I fail, I will not do it again, you will not do anything in this life.
Actually, a perfect example would probably be relationships. I think that's the biggest point for a lot of people in terms of feeling like they failed at finding love and, they want to give up. We have a lot of people that are hopeless romantics, and that's like something that's like a failure. So especially where like emotions are, there's usually like a trauma thing that's placed with something or to something, right? But the point is this, one thing I wanted to stress is don't move alone. As much as you're wanting to adapt, we are not an island. It takes a village, as we've heard. No matter how far your village is, they can still help you one way or another. But also have a positive outlook. I have a friend of mine who is so positive. My God, I used to think, what? How can you just think everything is okay? I remember he broke up with like a whole relationship. And in fact, they left him. They cheated on him. Like it was a bad thing. But he was like, no, it's sad, but it's gonna be okay. I want to, as in very positive.
Very positive.
I'm asking you for, can you rub it off on me? Because I don't understand how you have such a positive outlook on life that even if things are going crazy, you're just sitting there and just thinking, it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Even with relationships, you try. If this one doesn't work, it doesn't mean that everybody is like that.
Is like that. Try another person.
Try again.
But after you healed.
Yeah, no, don't go bleed on someone else's child, okay? Heal.
Yeah, heal
and then
first.
try again.
Yeah, and try again. Yeah. So I think you bringing out the relationship part. I think that was a question that I was going to ask when it comes to adapting in relationships. I'm glad that you've actually mentioned the fact to say even when the relationship has not worked out, it does not mean that every person that you're going to meet is going to be like that. Just because you've had a bad break does not mean to say you have to stop the journey.
Yes.
Yeah, just because you have a flat tire does not mean to say you have to cancel the journey to where you're going. So relationships end for many reasons.
Definitely,
For many reasons. It could be maybe sometimes it is you that needed to work on yourself, or sometimes it was just the other person was not just good for you, or the both of you were just too good for each other, too good for each other.
Yeah.
So you had to go separate ways so that you go and find another person that you can be good for. But a number of us really do go down a bad road when it comes to the issues of relationships. I have seen people that have reached an extent where they want to take their own lives because the relationship did not work out, and so on and so forth. Now, probably maybe I want to maybe leave that moment for just maybe my failed relationships, we just leave it there. Now, let's bring it to a moment where, for example, a couple is going through a season of change. Maybe your husband, let's say, for example, you have one source of income, and maybe the husband is the main provider for a home, and maybe he has lost a job, or probably maybe something has happened and he's not able to provide as much as he was able to back then. Let's say, for example, he was able to bring a 10,000 back home after everything. Then now this time around, he is bringing about maybe a 5,000 home. How then does this wife or family get to support this man so that he does not go up and beyond just to make sure that these guys are okay? Because at the end of the day, in as much as it's going to be a big issue for you guys, it's also a big issue on him, who is the provider to you guys. So how does a family get to support such an individual who's going through such a difficult season, such a difficult moment?
Yeah. Disclaimer, I'm not a marriage counselor. Everything I'm about to say is from my little knowledge.
Yeah, very true.
But I think that, sometimes when you're in it, it's quite different as when you're seeing something from outside, right?
Yeah.
But I would love to think, and I would hope that we find ways to actually hold hands. Marriage is a partnership. I would love to believe, and I strongly stand on that it is. And we're meant to be helpers as women.
Yeah.
And that's how we've been raised. That's what we've been taught.
Yeah.
And that's what we see also from a biblical perspective, right? And so if your husband, I would believe, is going through something that's crazy, there's some turmoil, and this is a hard time, be a source of comfort.
Yeah.
How can you help this person than add burden? Money pressures are so frustrating.
Yeah, very true.
And I would love to believe, usually in this society, men are actually compared, or their worth is attached
to how much
they are bringing home. Yeah. But the minute that reduces, don't you think he's also sitting there questioning
his worth?
Yeah. So then, doesn't it become worse if you're going to sit there and say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than you being a source of some form of comfort, right? I remember being or attending one of these women conferences, and one of these women that I know, who's a family friend, spoke about how her husband lost his job, right? But he was saving some money on the side. Yeah. She literally started baking. She asked for just a little bit of money as he lost his job, trying to find something else. Yeah. Something small. Just give me this money. I want to buy some flour. I want to start seeing if I can start baking. Started baking slowly. People would sell. It started moving. That was another source of income. Yeah. As the husband was also trying to find something. And eventually he found something, but also guess what? She ended up having a whole catering business, and today she has a very big catering, successful catering business.
Wow.
So when you see an opportunity and you choose to approach it to say, okay, this is not okay. I think we're not used to this. But what can we do?
What can we do?
How can we survive this? Because it's only for a season.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we want things in the now. Life should be beautiful now. Life should happen now. But we forget that there are seasons of heights, there are seasons of lows.
Yeah.
And the last time we spoke, I remember saying, when we're high and when we're up, what are we doing to make sure that even when we go there, we are okay?
Yeah.
So I think that that's the most important thing. Remember that it's a partnership. Remember that hold your friend. That's your friend.
Yeah.
They're human at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're human.
They're also trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
They understand their role. But also you, how are you coming in and helping?
Yeah.
It's not you're not supposed to just leave him. And I think in today's society, we're so big on it. When you're like, I need a man who's going to buy me a 20-inch ring, who's going to take me on trips to Dubai. And then these brothers are looking at us like, don't you want your father? Because
are you not talking about
we don't want to grow with people. We don't want to experience this and say, we did this together. I had hope. There was potential that I saw, and we invested in the potential, and this is where we are. So I think it's you, like I said, it's always back to your mindset and how you see life and your perspective of life. How are you seeing that marriage? Are you just there to sit while someone else is going?
Are you there to eat the man? What do you bring to the table yourself?
You know, or you know, things just go south. I've heard of moments where, you know, maybe you start losing your parents and a lot of people around your life, and life starts changing, so emotions are high. You know, how are you showing up?
How are you showing up
for your friend in those moments?
Yeah.
You know, how are you showing up for your person in those moments? You can't just sit there and think life will be good. One thing they say is true is that change is inevitable.
Yeah, very true.
As in, that's the one thing we can be so sure about. That change is inevitable.
Yeah.
Something will happen. There will be a shift. Have you prepared yourself
for it? Yeah. I remember having a conversation with Reverend this week, and he mentioned something to say Bishop has put up 10 commandments. Yes. And amongst the 10 commandments for marriage, there is one that says, don't just prepare for the mountain top, but then also prepare for the pit. I feel like a number of us, when we get into these relationships, we're so excited about what we are going to have. And our minds are not prepared to say, there's going to be a moment that this guy may not be able to provide, or there's going to be a moment that this lady is not going to be looking as pretty as she looks right now.
She's got to get a couple pounds.
So there is all of those things. So I feel even as we are out there, sometimes it may not really be just on the man's side who's lost a job. Sometimes it could be on the lady's side. And because she was bringing something to the table, now there is that she's not able to bring. So let's not be rigid towards each other. Let's be each other's support, just like you have said. Be a person's person, both in the good times and in the bad times. Now, currently, there is this whole issue. A number of us have gone to school, we're done with school, either from grade 12. You're hoping that, you know, just like they tell us, you know, life is going to start happening when you're done with school. It's the same thing even when you are coming from college. You were promised, the government is going to give you jobs. Don't worry, you know. But then when we get into the society, it's a different story altogether. Different story altogether now. How do we adjust with what we find in the society when we're just coming from school? How do we adjust with this environment?
Oh, wow. Like, it's quite a difficult one, hey? Because you just never know. Everybody has a different story to tell you.
Story altogether, yeah.
You know, I could tell you, I was just writing I was just finishing my defense, and I had a job offer before I had my results for my last semester.
Yeah.
But then you have people who've graduated properly. Yeah. 5 years down the line, they've never found a job. You have people 2 years down the line, never found a job. Others find a job 1 year, the next year they don't have anything. They
Yeah.
can't find anything.
Yeah.
You know, and now you're like, how do you navigate it?
How do you
right?
navigate it? Yeah.
And I love the narrative of an eagle and having a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
Because I believe that when you limit your thinking to just what you're seeing here, you are kind of limited to what you can actually do and what you can actually see, right?
True.
But go to a bird's eye view. The bird is flying over and can see literally everything. And then you're like, oh, it's actually the landscape is way bigger than I actually thought.
Yeah.
Right now, I was just seeing it from here when I was on the ground. I've gone there, there's actually more that I can do, right?
Yeah.
And I think I would implore people that I understand life is difficult and we're dealt so many different cards.
Yeah.
Adapt.
Yeah.
What we're talking about today, if you don't have a job or you can't find a job, right? Try and find another way to have an income. I've had friends who started doing crocheting, people who started selling jewelry, you've had people start making clothes. Like they just find something that they can start doing, as small as it can be, but it's still something bringing in money in their pockets, right? So that you don't sit there and you're just depressed and you're thinking, what am I doing? But you're using a different life skill. Because I always say you can't just be book smart. Be street smart.
Be street smart.
Be able to also, if books, you've done your books, great.
But it's not working.
But if it's not working, why are you staying there where it's not working? Develop some. There are people who make money because they are able to move, they're able to talk to who, they're able to make a deal. I have an uncle who he's everywhere. But that's how he makes his money. And he has money. So it's how are you adapting? What are you seeing? Change your perspective. Stop seeing it from, because the next thing after I finish school, I'm supposed to directly go into a job. No, sometimes it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen like that.
And if it doesn't happen like that, what's the next thing?
What's the next thing that you're going to do?
Maybe like some entrepreneurship can happen. Maybe I can become an intern somewhere. There are so many different avenues, but sometimes we just have a narrow way of thinking.
The government will give us jobs.
There are people who've changed. Like totally changed trajectory. Like our doctors and our teachers, right? You don't get placements, you don't get posted. What are we going to do? You can't just stay. There are people who've changed, gone to study business admin, an MBA or something, find themselves in a bank somewhere, find themselves totally different career change. And that's another thing, being able to quickly analyze a situation and make a decision. Because sometimes
we take too long to analyze the situation.
We are 10 years down the line, then you're thinking I should. It should, a couple of months, let me try this. You try this, you see, okay, this can, I think it's building momentum, momentum. You continue trying. If it doesn't, you shift. People have changed, and you'll be shocked that they become so successful in those careers. I think Ms. Ngomelu was a nurse, was studying to be a nurse.
She studied to be a nurse. It didn't work out.
And she's the CEO of one of the biggest, the top 4 banks in Zambia. So it adjusts. Sunny Zulu is an engineer by profession. He's the CEO of Standard Chartered. So your career or what you've studied doesn't limit you to what you're actually able to do. Because it's really, industry is a different playing field. You can study accounting, you find yourself doing something totally contrary
to what you did.
But you have to be able to say, okay, fine, is this the card I've been dealt? I will make the most out of it. And then if you want to go back, you go back.
I think that's, sometimes so literacy is not just about, the whole reason why we go to school is not just for us to be able to perform the exact duties that we've been taught. So the whole reason we go to school is that our brains can be sharpened.
Definitely.
So when you go in the streets, do what you gotta do in the streets.
That's all.
Do what you gotta do in the streets. Because waiting on government to give you jobs, waiting on the private sector. Because I think we had a conversation with somebody some days ago, and I said, even if the government decided to add more money to the budget for your ministry, they wouldn't still deploy everybody.
Yeah.
There will still be people that
Yeah.
will be left out.
Yeah.
Even if the private sector decided to deploy more people, there will still be people that will be left out. So just in case you're part of the people that will be left out, be smart up there. Yeah. Use the skills that you have to be able to do other things.
Yeah.
If you are a teacher, tell people that you can do extra lessons.
Definitely.
Homeschooling.
Yeah.
If you are a nurse, tell people that you offer home-based care. If you are probably maybe an accountant, tell people that you actually offer consultation and finances. Yeah. There is always something that you can do. But just sitting there and waiting for things to happen on your own, the same way you will not find a man if you're still in the room.
You'll find me in the house.
Make sure when you go to church, stay a bit longer. When you go to conferences, stay a bit longer. Stand some by the door. Talk to some people. You know? Very important.
Yeah,
very important. Very important. Now, probably maybe another thing that I would ask is this. The industries are changing almost on a daily basis. They want people who probably maybe advancing in whatever that you're doing. I believe the way that you got your first job is not the same way that you are maybe years later. They're expecting you to change. They're expecting you to learn more, to add more to your skills. Now, what happens if the ministry or the industries are advancing and the people are not changing, the people are not adapting to the speed of the industries? What happens then in that environment?
There's a saying, I think, in the animal kingdom that talks about survival of the fittest. It's about who adapts to the changes in that certain environment that actually comes out and wins and is able to survive. So like I said, change is inevitable. You just need to mentally prepare yourself. Change is inevitable. It's going to happen. Are you ready? Have you positioned yourself when it happens? We have so much access to reading, books, TV, there's news. Today we have people on TikTok talking about 10,000 different topics. You have people on Instagram talking about so many different things. You have so many different podcasts that are actually educational, that actually help you. Those are the ways that you can use. So those are some of the tools that you can actually use to prepare yourself. Because you'll be left behind. No one is going to come and say, no, you'll be left. Your friend was able to adapt and to change. But you're busy. No, me, I'm rigid. No, me. Now your friends have gone over. You here now seated. What's happening, guys? How did you leave?
How did you leave?
There's no two ways about it. You will be left behind. So you have to be able to adapt. For example, AI today is a very big thing. And we're seeing it introduced in so many different companies. If you do not adapt, you will be left behind.
You'll be left behind.
Because the quality of work being produced now, because you're able to use AI, is totally different. And proper quality. You want to be stuck. No, I'm going to use the old way. I'm going to shine it. And now they're telling you, you're not being advantageous. You're not actually putting yourself in a position to be competitive with other people. Because most times, companies will probably want to get the person who's tech savvy, but also understands, like they are also very book smart. They know what they're doing. The combination of the two is unmatched. But then you want someone who's going to, you want to be, I just know the book, but you don't know how to use this. How are you going to help the country? What benefit are you bringing? So you have to, there's no two ways about it.
There's no two ways about it. You just have to adapt.
Wow. To the industry changes.
Wow. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. And a number of us are so rigid. We're so rigid, like we don't want.
Tell me about it.
Anything that has to deal with AI, we don't want to get involved. Like we just want to be left there. Like, me, I'm book smart. I'll stick to what I know. But in the near future, some of us are going to lose our jobs, not because the company, they are bad people, or the HR doesn't like you, but because you are not competitive enough. Yeah, they would rather have somebody who's able to use tech and be able to
Mm-hmm.
than have somebody who's just smart here. Because at the end of the day, what we also must understand is that this company is competing with this company.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, if you are not growing as an individual, you are depriving your company
Definitely.
from the success that they're supposed to be achieving.
Perfectly.
Now, probably maybe another question that I would ask is, how do we train our minds to actually embrace change or to adapt to situations? Yeah.
I think sometimes,
Mhm.
like I said, like when I spoke of my friend who's positive and ended up making me also a little bit more positive, having a more positive outlook on life. I think it's important who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
That can feed your mind. So how your mind works, I remember having this conversation once with my auntie, and it was a conversation. It was one of those things where I'm just seated and God like puts this thing in my mind, right?
Yeah.
And told me that Macy, thoughts are like seeds. And so every thought that comes to your mind is a little seed that's planted. Your mind is now the ground. It's planted in your mind.
Yeah.
And so if you keep entertaining it, you're watering it.
You're watering it. Wow.
And so it starts to grow, it starts to grow. Eventually you have a whole tree or a plant or whatever it is. It starts bearing fruit.
Yeah.
So if you entertain bad thoughts and negative thoughts,
Yeah.
remember it's a seed.
It's a seed.
You've planted.
Yeah.
And you're watering it the more you entertain it.
So it changes your belief system in that moment. Wow.
So you have to be able to, the minute that thought comes, either you denounce it or accept it, depending on what it is. If it's something that is negative that is telling you, no, don't change, be rigid, this is bad, and then you're also, yes, it's bad, that will grow. All of a sudden, you're sitting there and you're thinking, that's all that it is. That's all you know. That's all you ever see, because your mind has now been trained to see this thing is bad.
This thing is bad, yeah.
But the minute that thought came in and you say, no, I'm actually not going to see this as challenging. Yes, it's challenging.
It's challenging, yeah.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
How do I accomplish this?
How do I accomplish this?
When you start thinking that way, those shifts in your mind, I'm telling you, you already won the battle in your mind. So it's about how those thoughts, it all starts with thoughts. That's all. That's all that it is. That's all that your mind is. What is the thought that's coming into your mind that you're entertaining? Yeah. And if you're entertaining the wrong thing, the result will be either good
or bad.
Yeah.
I think now that you've spoken about the seed that we are planting in the people that we surround ourselves with, I think let's also understand that there is no growth in a place of comfort.
Definitely.
So if you understand to say, I can't grow in a place of comfort, then you will understand to say you will need to be exposed to places or to an environment that is uncomfortable. It's the same thing as if you are always putting the child on your laps, you never allow them maybe to stand or to sit on their own. They will never learn how to walk. They'll never learn how to sit on their own because you've put them in a place of comfort. So let's be okay, and let's also understand that change is inevitable. Things are going to come. But the most important thing is we have a certain mindset.
Yes.
And remember that the thoughts that you have are actually seeds. And the more you entertain those seeds, they actually grow and become a belief system. Wow. I have enjoyed this conversation. The sad part about life is that everything has to come
to an end, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yeah. So maybe a question, or something that I would say is, what would be your last words to somebody out there that is struggling to adapt in this season? Like, what would be your last words to them?
Yeah, I think that fear, I think we didn't touch on fear a lot, but fear is sometimes the greatest killer of our dreams and of what we can accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, and our failure to adapt because of fear can rob us of great opportunities. You know, and so the Bible does tell us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Yeah. And so for me, that's what I always speak over myself. Life is always about challenging yourself.
Yeah.
You never grow, like you said, from a place of comfort.
Yeah.
always push. If this you've now got, it's easy for you. You can do it within 2 minutes without you even thinking. Challenge yourself to the next thing, right? But don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Don't hold back. Allow yourself to go there. Do it scared.
Yeah, do it
Do
scared.
it with fear if you want to.
But still do it.
Still do it.
Yeah.
Because the result of that, you would be so surprised to say, because I put myself out there, because I opened myself, I was able to get all this return. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't have done anything. Nothing would have come to me. So you have to be able to say, as much as there's fear and as much as I'm scared, God, I'm still trusting that you will help me. But fear, like I said, is sometimes the greatest killer of our dreams. So whatever you do, do it scared. If you are shaking, there's anxiety, still put yourself in the position and say, I'm still going to get this done. No matter how long it takes you, get it done. Because the next time you look at it, you'll be like, oh. And then the next time another challenge comes, that challenge when I did it scared, this one,
I'll do it again scared. It's okay, but I'll still do it. Wow.
But
yeah. Wow, so this has been the Spotlight, where we have meaningful conversations that edify, equip, and ignites the pursuit of purpose. I hope we've ignited the fire, and I hope we have given you that push to actually pursue your purpose. I think my take-home point is thoughts are seeds, and what you entertain is you watering that seed. And as long as it's a negative thought that you continue to water, it's going to become a belief system. So your thoughts can actually become positive or be negative. And your belief system can either be positive or it can be negative. And whatever that you do in this life, do it. Even if you are scared, do it scared. But then at the end of the day, the most important point is, or the most important thing is, we get to where we want to get to. So from me, Chilisha Joyce Mukonta and Messi, it's bye-bye and God bless you.
Bye. Thank you.